Hey guys, Steve Jabber here, coming at you from my balcony in Pattaya. And I've spent nearly 3 months here in Thailand, so I thought I'd give you my honest review of the place. And, maybe you'll decide whether you want to come here or not. So first of all, the places that I've stayed in Thailand. I've stayed in Bangkok, Chiang Mai, and Pattaya. And I've been in Pattaya for about a week now. And I'll give you my overall assessment of all the places. So Bangkok is extremely hot. In fact, they're all extremely hot, chaotic, and to a certain degree in some parts hedonistic. Now in Bangkok, I stayed in Sukhumvit, which is kind of the area where there's a lot of action going on, and Eka Mai, which is more of the business district, a bit more quieter and residential, and so on. Oh, and I stayed in Talat Phulu as well, which is some way out from the centre, because at that time I wanted 3 weeks where I could just focus on work. So let's do Bangkok first of all. And this heat thing is appropriate for all the places that I've stayed at. First of all, it's extremely hot. I mean, you can probably tell just by looking behind me at the sun and the skyline that it's just so hot here. And the thing is, I've stayed in Spain cumulatively for over a year, maybe two, in fact, nearly 3 years. And I stayed in there in August, September, June and July, and it's never as hot as it is right here in Thailand. Now, right at the moment, it's the late October, and I got here late August. And the minute I got out of the airport, it was like you're hit by a wall of heat. And so what's the downside of that? Well, for me, I've been in Spain in like 35-degree temperatures. But Spain is more set up for it, and the heat is different. Here the heat is just all-encompassing, and it's very humid as well, and so you can't walk. And so we're getting into the second point now. In terms of me going out during the daytime, I just couldn't do it. Between 11 o'clock and 5, I couldn't go out during that time. And I've been sitting here for 2 minutes 14, and I'm already starting to pour with sweat. You can probably see it on the camera. I'm not even moving. I'm just moving my head and talking. So you can't really go out in the daytime because it's just too damn hot. Now, the second point I'd make is I'm a guy that likes to, walk around in the daytime, look at things, look at the environment, see what's going on, and then plonk myself down in a square. I'm used to going out in Europe. So you go to Poland, Bulgaria, Spain, even parts of Eastern Europe like Minsk or Ukraine. I've been to them all. The only place I haven't been is Russia. And in all of these places, there's a central square area, and it's always the best kept part of the town. So you can practically guarantee that you can go and plonk yourself down. And in Spain, I've been to Malaga, I've been to Torremolinos, Benalmádena, or Benalmádena, as you might want to say. And there's always this central area. Beautiful. You can sit down, you can watch the world go by, you can have a beer, as I am now. In this case, a Leo. You can sit down and watch the world go by. There is no such thing in Thailand and anywhere I stayed. Right now I'm in Jomtien, but in Bangkok and Chiang Mai, I didn't find a central square area. And even if I did, you can't walk anywhere, right? So there's the heat and the fact that it's just not set up for pedestrians, which is what I like to do. I like to walk. In Spain, I was able to walk 10, 15 miles a day and plonk myself down in little chiringuitos and little bars and restaurants, have a beer, have a bit of food, a bit of tapas. It's really enjoyable. It's lovely to look at, and you just can't do it in Thailand. I've not found anywhere anyway. There's no square, and just the streets and the roads are not set up for pedestrians. Watch this on the screen right now, and you'll see what I mean. Okay, guys, so we're on the Pattaya seafront. Sorry, I haven't got the mic. You'll just have to bear with me. And I just wanted to show you the walking area. So this is one of the only places in Thailand that I've been able to find some place where you can actually walk. If you look across the street, you'll see there's a narrow pathway there with that lady's walking by the look of it. And that's what it's usually like. It's just very, very narrow walkways, often with scooters right next to you. And the walkways are often broken. This is all very nicely done, you see. It's not broken at all, so you can walk there. This is a bit more European standard, but for most of the places I stayed at, it's not like this at all. You just can't walk anywhere. So hopefully you've seen what I've shown you in Jomtien. You can see that it's the only area that I found where there's actually a walkable pedestrian area where you're not at imminent risk of falling over and breaking your ankle or whatever. And it's pleasurable to walk down, okay? You could do it if it wasn't for the heat. So that's another point. I really do want to stress that it's very important for me that I like to walk and sit down and plonk myself down in central areas, and you couldn't do that in Thailand. Now, in terms of walking, I just want to show you, hopefully I can show you this. There's my ankle, right? As you can see, it's heavily strapped up. About 4 days ago in Chiang Mai, no, 5 days ago, I was crossing the road, and as you can see, I've shown you crossing the road here. In fact, let me show you it right now. This is an example of low-key crossing the road. So this is what I mean about crossing the road. And this is an early, a non-busy time of day. You can see that, you know, the scooters are right next to you, and it makes crossing the road a bit of an ordeal. There's a gap now, so I'm going to go across any minute now. But this is only 1/10 of what it's like in Chiang Mai and Bangkok. It's even worse. So as you can see, that's a 1 out of 10. That's not particularly bad. I was crossing the road in Chiang Mai. Some idiot was coming straight towards me. Over I went, turned my ankle over. Luckily didn't fracture anything or anything like that. God knows what I would have done then. I've been rested up for 4 or 5 days. And I've got about 3 weeks now while it heals where I can actually walk properly again. So that's not much fun, you know. So in terms of walking and sitting down in the central square area in Bangkok, or sorry, in Thailand in general, I personally couldn't do it. And that really did detract from my enjoyment of the place. So then there's the general infrastructure of Thailand. So this looks quite nice, as you can see. The buildings are fine internally. They've all got aircon. That's great. But when you're walking around, and especially in Bangkok, it's just not aesthetic. You know, there's a lot of poor quality infrastructure, to be frank. You know, there's electric cables hanging down everywhere. The roads themselves and the streets have got holes in. They got like, you know, paved stones that you can twist your ankle over, that you can fall over. It's extremely crowded everywhere, especially in Bangkok, but also in Chiang Mai. You've got narrow roads and there's just people constantly in your face and you can't walk properly. There's that too. And I don't want to seem overly negative. See, my overall assessment of Thailand is I would recommend it if you like Thai girls and you like hedonism. And recommend it to anyone that wants to experience it for 3 months. And the Thai people are extremely warm, lovely people. Don't want to be all negative, but I'm just picking out and highlighting the things that I didn't enjoy the most. It's what sticks in my mind, you know. But there's a lot of positives. Right, so we've covered the infrastructure, we've covered the walking, we've covered the lack of central areas, we've covered the fact that it's not really set up for pedestrians, which is, again, idiosyncratic to me maybe, more important to me than most people. What about the Thai girls? That's why most guys will come here. Right, so I spent a lot of time traveling around Europe, Eastern Europe, and I met a lot of Eastern European, Central European girls, and I also met loads of English girls over the years. And, you know, people talk about beauty standards. So I will say that the Thai women, in terms of looks, didn't do it for me in the same way that, you know, hot English girls do, or anything close to a lot of Eastern Europeans. It's just my opinion. I'm not being judgmental about it. Physically, they didn't do it for me as much. Now, I'm an older guy now. I'm 49. And I've done, to be frank, a lot of my bonking, you know, lots of girls in my younger years. So maybe that's part of my experience and why I wasn't that bothered about it. But the main reason was physically, I didn't find them all that amazing. You know, they're attractive women, obviously, but I didn't find them, they didn't make the cells in my body shift in the same way that Eastern European or hot English girls do. Again, they're all calm, they're all kind, lovely people. But in terms of pure attraction, I didn't have the same pull as I did in Eastern Europe. Now, I did indulge in some massages here and all that kind of stuff, you know, but after a few weeks of that, to be frank, you get bored of it. And that leads into the secondary point about the women, is it's just not the same. You can't really, or at least I couldn't, have the same conversations that I would have with an English girl or a bright Eastern European girl. It's just the way that I'm built, and they just don't have the same cultural experience. They're just different people, and you can't relate to them, or I couldn't relate to them in the same way that I could English girls or Eastern European girls. So in terms of a quick fling, I couldn't really get myself motivated for even like a month holiday fling like I used to do in Eastern Europe and so on. I couldn't even do that because I just didn't really have much to talk to them about. Now, let's just look at it the other way. There are so many guys here in Pattaya. I should have taken a video, but there's loads of guys here, usually over 50, really happy with the girls, or at least they look it, and great. They have a good time, they're hedonistic and so on. Fantastic. So if you like Thai girls and you're into that, and maybe you're not that bothered about having sort of, you know, chats with them and a real like fling, you know, where you can actually talk about something interesting and relate to them more, then it'd be great for you. And I would heartily recommend Thailand if you're in that boat. If you just want hedonism and sex and fun, and you're not that bothered about sitting in a square and looking at beautiful architecture and spending all day walking around, again, come to Thailand. It's hot. It's relatively cheap. The women are available. It's not difficult. And it's a lot of fun in that respect for hedonism. Maybe for a lot of younger guys and older guys that maybe haven't had the experience with European women, or maybe feel that they, you know, Eastern European women are unapproachable and they don't know how to get them. You know what I mean? It'd be perfect for those kind of guys, right? But for me personally, that was my experience. The girls didn't, you know, turn me on all that much. I got bored of it after a while, after a few weeks. And so then I was left with just the place itself. And as I've said, it's not cut out for walking. There's no central square. It's too damn hot. And I twisted my ankle. I couldn't walk anyway. So listen, overall, Thailand is very positive. Again, the people are very kind. They're beautiful, lovely, warm people, very welcoming. The women are great as well. But for me personally, having maybe an unusual experience and an unusual history, I would come for a few months, but I wouldn't want to stay here longer term. And I probably won't come back for another 3 months again, to be honest. I'll check out some other places. Okay, that's my honest review. By the way, I have a subreddit where we talk about cities all over the world, and I did a write-up of this video review. I'd love you to come along and join in the chat, and we can talk about stuff and talk about how as older men we can meet women, that kind of thing, right? So it's our City Hookups, or just use the link in the description below. Come and join in the fun, join the subreddit, and chat to me and chat to other people that are on there. I'm trying to build a community on there for this kind of information and this kind of community. So I'll see you in the next video.